Andrew Carnegie was a Scotsman. He was also a humanist. He was someone who really believed in what has come to be known as the gospel of wealth. In other words, man's duty to obey Christ is essentially to amass as much money as he can and then do good things with it. Now, in a lot of ways, that's a good notion, but of course, he really didn't believe in Christ. He just believed that if he became wealthy and did good things with it, then he essentially would earn his salvation that way. Still, like all the other robber barons, he was a brilliant worker, and he was someone who saved his money carefully. By the age of 28, for example, he earned a salary of roughly $2,500 a year. But he earned another $45,000 a year off of his investments. That tells you how much money he was actually saving, especially when you realize that that's in late 19th century dollars. Well, he put all of his efforts eventually and all of his investments into the steel industry. And it was there in the steel industry that he practiced what we call vertical integration. That meant that he wanted to own every type of the business from the moment that the iron ore was mined out of the hills. He wanted to be able to own the mine. Also own the trucks that transport it from there to the steel refinery. Own the steel refinery, and then own the stores that actually sell or distribute the steel throughout America, and of course the trucks that get them to those stores in the first place. And so he began to amass an empire that included all of those things. In fact, he had a quote or a saying. He used to say, "Put all of your good eggs in one basket, and then watch that basket." Quite the opposite of the old cliche. But anyway, what he did and what companies like him did was they actually raised steel production some 10 times in a 20-year period. It was an incredible amount of productivity. It also dropped the price of steel from $160 a ton all the way down to $17 a ton. As a result, Carnegie eventually became the world's wealthiest man. And because he never went into debt, he was always able to buy up things when everyone else was in debt, or buy up things when there was a recession of some kind. He had a famous partner, Charles Schwab, for example, who became a great member of the financial community. His company is still around to this day that provides great financial services and has an incredible amount of resources. Well, they got their start from Charles Schwab, who actually learned how to save and how to avoid debt and how to invest from Andrew Carnegie. Towards the end of his life, he became a great benefactor. In fact, all the robber barons typically gave away a good deal of their money. And so Carnegie Hall in New York City is named for him. In fact, his money was used to found some 3,000 libraries. And curiously, it was used to buy some 8,000 church organs, even though he himself was a skeptic of whether or not the gospel was true his entire life.